Hello and welcome to the Enchanted Butterfly Garden podcast. Introducing your host, the Goddess Angel. Let's go! Hello and welcome back to my show. My name is Angel and I am excited to spend some time with you during this episode. Okay, today we have a lot of information and we are starting a new journey. So I look forward to explaining what this journey is going to be and to find out which of you would like to come along with me. But first, let's do a tarot reading. Okay, for our tarot reading, in honor of the full moon on the 29th, I am going to be using the Moonology Manifestation Oracle cards by Yasmin Boland. The artwork is by Lori Mena, and this deck is absolutely wonderful. I absolutely love it. It has all kinds of different pictures in it with sun signs, the moons, different phases of the moons, flowers. There's all kinds of stuff on here. The card I drew is a full moon in Taurus, which signifies detoxifying yourself. Detox is absolutely the greatest card we could have pulled right now because of what we will be talking about today in our episode about detoxing our bodies and helping them become healthier. So that's what we will be doing, a full detox of our mind, body, and soul this week. I hope you will join me in doing this because this is my plan this week already. So to pull this card just symbolizes that it is absolutely the right time for a detox. Now, let's move on to the important stuff. I am tired of being sick and tired. And what I mean is our bodies are sick. Our bodies are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be keeping us alive. And our bodies aren't doing that, or mine isn't. Let me speak for myself here. My body is not doing that correctly. So I am making some changes because I am tired of feeling sick and tired. So I am going to be changing my diet to an alkaline diet so that I can balance the pH in my body. The purpose of doing this is to get some of the acid out of my body so that it can be a healthier host for my cells. When we take the acid out of our bodies, there's no space for diseases in there. When we have an alkaline pH or a neutral pH, our bodies are functioning properly, then it's harder for us to have chronic pain and things like that go wrong in our systems. How do we manage the pH of our bodies? We do that by what we eat. And what we put in our bodies is extremely important. I'm calling myself out on this one because I know I'm not eating correctly, which is why I'm trying to grow my own vegetables and start my garden. That's the purpose of this. But take it a step further, I need to be doing the right things. I need to be preparing the right foods and growing the right things for myself so that I can have pure and total health. So that's going to be my journey for the next forever. Let's just say that, forever. But on this podcast and on my social media, I am going to be putting a bigger emphasis on this because I think it's really incredibly important for all of us so that we can get rid of the sicknesses that we don't want in our bodies anymore. And I've been reading about a lot of different things. Dr. Sebi and his alkaline diet, which I will be doing a lot of research on that. Dr. Axe, he does a lot of alkaline diet talk. There's tons of websites out there with information. We need this information. We need it in front of us so that we can know what we can do to help our bodies. So that when we go to the doctor, then they can do what they're supposed to do, which is help us when we need that extra help. But if we're not doing our part, then going to the doctor isn't going to help. We have to do our part also. So I'm very excited to start sharing some of these different things about what I'm going to be eating and what I'm going to be not eating and how I'm going to be making these things and what plants I'll be growing. So those will be some future updates here and I'm really excited about them. So I hope that you are too, and I hope that you'll come along on this journey with me because I don't want to just heal myself. Is that the most important thing to me? Yes. Absolutely. But wouldn't it be better if I could bring a whole bunch of you with me? Let's do it together. Let's go on this journey and heal our own bodies and do it the way that we know how. So we'll talk more about that this week on social media and throughout the podcast. But also today I had some other things I wanted to talk about. So let's start there. Now I want to talk about the importance of journaling. I know I cover this every episode, but to me it's really important because it's a big deal for my mental health. If I don't journal, my life will be falling apart. I have ADHD, guys. I can't function properly with my brain running in 1,000 different directions. So I pull out my journal, I do my brain dump, and then I can start my day. Because if I don't do that, I have all the things in my head and I can't focus on what I need to be doing. So I have to start with that brain dump. And I will be soon getting the new My Self-Care Journey journal. That is a guided journal coming in the mail in the next couple days, which I cannot wait because I want to share it with you so badly. And then I will be showing you what kind of cool stuff is in there. And there is room, I believe there's room for brain dumps in that one. So I provided those for you, and I'm very excited about that. And once I do my brain dump, then I will close my journal for a little while, and then I will continue about my day. But what I noticed is that even though I'm doing way better at talking to myself about being positive and being good to myself and being nice to myself, those are all great things, which is what we've been talking about. But let's go a little bit deeper. Let's talk about what we need to say to our inner child. And our inner child is that, remember, let's take a little journey back here. Let's explain what an inner child is. It's when, do you remember when you were a child and someone lectured you or yelled at you or whatever, and you didn't like it and you felt uncomfortable and scared, and you went in your room or your safe place and you hid there. And you told yourself that it was going to be okay. Somehow, some way, you just knew that it was going to be okay. But after a while, we get jaded and we stop telling ourselves it's going to be okay because we don't think it is. We lose that hope of thinking that it will be okay when it might not be. So now as adults, we have to go back and reassure that child that we're okay and that we will be okay. And that talk is something I wasn't aware of until recently, because my small child inside me has some issues. So I have to pull myself to the side sometimes when I experience something I might not like and say, you know what? We're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We'll make it through this. And that's the hardest thing sometimes, is telling yourself it's going to be okay. How do we know? We don't all the time. But if we don't comfort that child like we do our own children or anybody else's children, maybe you're a teacher, you sit down and talk to kids when they're going through things at school, or you're a mom and you talk to your own children, or even a dad and you talk to your own children. Whoever you're talking to as a child, you're comforting that child to say it's going to be okay. And you have to do that for yourself also, so that you can get through hard moments. Talking positive to ourselves is a constant thing we need to be doing anyway. But let's go a little bit further and start comforting ourselves. Let's start soothing ourselves. Let's start making sure we know that we're going to be okay, so that when we do that self-talk, it explodes us into a whole nother dimension of amazingness. We want to explode ourselves into the most amazing version of ourselves that we can be. That's the goal here, and that's what we want. We want that huge, giant leap into the next era of what we're doing with our lives. So we have to go back and take the small steps, like talking to ourselves in positive ways and comforting that inner child. If we don't do that, we can't go on. We'll forever be stuck in that space of, I don't know if it's going to be okay. But if we tell ourselves it is, it will be okay. So let's do it. Let's spend this week talking to our inner child And if you don't know what to say, start brain dumping. Brain dump until you find out what's really going on in your mind so that you know what to do to help yourself feel better. I think those are great things for us, and I think that throughout this week we can make a big change, even just by comforting ourselves. So that's this week's podcast homework. Get your journal, brain dump. You don't have a journal, write it on a piece of paper, hang it on the wall for a week. If it's too personal, put it in a folder. I recommend you get a journal. I do have a line of journals available on Amazon, so I will put the link for those in the description below. But make sure you have something to write on. It's really important for us at this stage. We have to get bigger. We have to do better. We have to keep going. We have to grow. We have to strive. We have to reach. We have to do those things for ourselves. Because in 10 years from now, you're just going to wish you did. How do I know this? Because that's where I'm at. I've been wanting to do this for years and years and years. I started my entrepreneurial journey when I was 18 years old and pregnant with my first child and scared and not sure what to do. But that's where I started my entrepreneurial journey. That's where I decided I wanted to work for myself. Did I do that? No, I gave up a lot. But here I am telling myself that I can do it and that it'll be okay. And guess what? It is. So let's do it together this week. That's what I have for you. And again, my name is Angel, and I am the host of the Enchanted Butterfly Garden podcast. And I look forward to listening for you next time.